parents of a young Stoney Creek hockey player are calling on Hockey Canada to make some changes. It comes after an investigation revealed that repeated bullying and sexual misconduct took place a few years ago on a local competitive team. The investigation left 6 players on probation and temporarily suspended the coach. But the family doesn't think that penalty was serious enough. Emily Taylor has the story.
A ruling from Hockey Canada's independent adjudicator finds 6 members of an under-14 team in Stoney Creek in the 2023-24 season engaged in persistent bullying, sexual misconduct, and sexual harassment of teammates. The father of the young complainant today telling CHCH News, "I never realized things could be that harsh. It was eye-opening. It's led us to change a lot of ways that we interact with our kids in sports. We're certainly more protective of what happens in dressing rooms." Both the father and player cannot be named due to the teen's age. The ruling details at least 20 instances of pantsing in the dressing room, where in many cases players were filmed while being held down and their clothes were forcibly removed. The videos were often posted in a team Snapchat group. The ruling calls that Snapchat group a cesspool. The adjudicator originally handed down suspensions of between 1 and 7 games for players. Head coach Dave Mercanti was suspended for 5 games after the ruling found he neglected his duty to supervise the dressing room, and 2 assistant coaches were given written reprimands. But the complainant's family says they didn't feel the sanctions reflected the seriousness of it. And after their son was assaulted outside of an arena, they decided to move forward on an appeal for harsher sanctions, saying it was clear to them that nobody learned anything from the initial ruling. The results of an appeal add an additional 2-year probation for the 6 players and suspended Mercanti for 6 months, followed by a 1-year probation. Mercanti declined to speak with CHCH News. He previously told the adjudicators that he never saw any of the actions in question. The Stoney Creek Minor Hockey Association declined our request for an interview or to comment on the matter.
This latest incident with Hockey Canada has experts calling for all disciplinary measures to be made public. They wouldn't be the first body to do it either. Places like Swim Canada and Skate Canada already have a registry for this kind of information.
Rick Westhead, sports journalist and author, spoke with CHCH News' Morning Live this week.
Had they not appealed, we'd never know about it because Hockey Canada decided to keep the sanction to the coach in that case a secret. And again, that's another example of, where the public should be asking, why isn't this being made public when sanction decisions kind of across sports are being made public more and more?
Hockey Canada says it continues to review the implications and concerns associated with having a public sanctions registry. In the meantime, they say it's up to the independent third party who assesses the complaints to decide whether the ruling should be made public. The young player's parents say there's a weight lifted from his family's shoulders now that the case is out there. He adds, "We can't change what happened to our son. We've got to try and pick up the pieces and help him move on with that. What we can do, now that there's a public document, is help raise awareness to things that can happen that are not being talked about." While there's still a lot of anxiety for the player heading into arenas and dressing rooms, his father says he loves the game and wants to continue playing. Emily Taylor, CHCH News, Stoney Creek.